in overcoming such trials and travails together. I dare say you two have become quite a pair. Less adventure on your arm than fast friends. Fast friends. Oi, Ardashir. I've been meaning to tell you, but I've fixed up the wings on this little one too, just like you asked. Thank you, Gerald. All that remains to do is calibrate the joints and it will be complete. Ah yes, there's another matter I would discuss with you, but doubtless you're weary after such a long day. I bid you safe travels home and a well-earned respite. Let us speak again when next you return to Azazla. And what is that about? Your Anima Weapon has been reborn. The spirit within imbued with newfound power. It's done. For this particular weapon. So, let's see what it is about. So good of you to come, Desiree. Did you rest well? Curious, are we? I'm afraid you will have to wait a little while longer. It's nearly ready, save for a few final adjustments. While I'm finishing with this, I would ask you a favor. As you might remember, I wish to discuss something with you. Now that our work on the Anima is complete, I would have Mistress Rowena come and see the fruits of our labor. But try as I might, there is naught but static when I call via link pearl. Would you go and ask her to come here to Azazla? I should be finished by the time you return. She is sure to be pleased with what I have to show her, as will you. Alright, then let's go to Idleshire and inform Rowena. Rowena. Well, if it ain't my favorite customer and business partner, and new developments with the Anima Weapon? Ardashir actually calls for you to present them. Finished, you say? That's the best news I've had all day. Well, that I could leave now to see it, but it'd be best for business to leave clients waiting. You tell Ardashir he can expect a visit from me as soon as I'm done here. While we wait for Mr. Rowena to arrive, there's something I wish to give you. It's a device to be used when summoning the Anima. Care to give it a try? Alright. Invisible automaton? So the Anima is in there now? Did you call Desiree? Oh my! My body is... What happened? Ardashir? Despite all we have accomplished here, one thing still concerned me. The fact that your spirit is bound to the Anima Weapon, which is why you can only be summoned in its presence. What will happen then, should she need your aid, but not possess the weapon housing your spirit? It is why I created that new body. It is linked to you through your original soul stone, which still bears your ethereal signature. So long as Desiree keeps that device with her, your spirit can be channeled into this new physical form. Consider it my gift to you, that none may break the bond shared between you and Desiree. Thank you, Ardashir. I will never leave her side. You have my word. What's this then? You're celebrating without me? Desiree taught me everything. I take it this the Anima I've heard so much about. It's a pleasure to meet you. Magnificent, is it not? A life created with our own hands, forged into a weapon, the Anima Weapon, the perfect companion to accompany adventurers like Desiree. You've impressed me, Ardashir. With proper wearing, these animas will make obedient helpers. And me a tidy profit. I can see my guild was well invested, and I look forward to seeing more of your work. Now that you've overcome the hurdle of making the first, I'm sure a sharp lad like you can ready Anima weapons for the masters in no time at all. Indeed, I've learned a great many lessons in my time here, thanks in no small part to Desiree and even Gerald. I dare say it will not be long before all the realm knows of the wonders that is Anima. But first I intend to return home. The faith permitting, I will find a capable smith to assist me in fashioning more Anima weapons. You heard the boy. If he wants to go home, let him. I've got better things to do than look after that streak of piss while he makes more toys. With me debts repaid, I'm heading to Costa del Sol for a well-earned... Repaid? I never took you for the sort who jokes about money. You owe me plenty. Now hold on, Ravenna. You promised to forget my debts once we were done with the Anima Weapon. And I'm a woman of my word. What you owed before we started this little business venture has been forgiven. And that just leaves the cost of coming and going to Azizla and a rather impressive bill for all that meat you drank. I expect you to pay me back down to the last skill. Of course, I might be willing to forgive and forget again if you help our dear boy Ardashir. Anyway, I ought to be heading back. Got business to tend to. Until next time, Desiree. Ardashir? Wait! Ardashir, how about I fire up a forge for another of those Anima weapons? The offer is appreciated, but no thank you. As I said, what I seek is a smith committed to making weapons, not wasting his days in pursuit of drink. Right then, no more drinking until we're done. Glad we got that settled. We have settled nothing. Even if I were to consent, you would never hold up your end of the agreement. Even now I can smell the foul odor of ale on your breath. Perhaps we should leave them to settle this on their own. Surely there are others who need our assistance? And where we get the Anima minion, which probably exists so people who are more sentimental don't feel bad when eventually in future expansions you must leave the Anima weapon behind because it just gets outgeared eventually. So that it's still there, basically. Your companion. Ardashir, what else is there? That's a pleasure as always. How fares the Anima? Fine. Look for yourself. Sprightly as ever, I see. It puts my mind at ease to see you both well. Ardashir? You there, Ardashir? Just thought I'd check in. How are things coming along? Oh, Ravenna. My research is progressing quite well, thank you. To what do I owe the pleasure of this unexpected call? It's those papers you had me sent off a few moons ago. You got a letter back about them, and a rather comprehensive one. At least judging by the weight of the envelope. Reckon you might want to drop by and pick it up. Could it be? I mean, of course, I will make for Ardashir at once. After finishing our work on the Anima, I wrote a treatise on the various techniques we employed in its development. Thanks to Ravenna and her influential connections, I was able to deliver it to a renowned scholar who is the realm's foremost expert on arcane entities. I can scarcely believe it, but it would seem my observations were deemed worthy of a response. Would you care to accompany me to Ravenna's? I can but speculate as to the contents of the letter, but I dare say we may learn of something of benefit to your Anima. Alright. Excellent. Pray go on ahead to Ardashir. I have a few tests underway that must be finished before I can leave. I shall follow anon. Let's go. And by that I assume he must calm down and look make himself presentable to not jump in joy or something? Anyway, Ravenna. Again. Ardashir will be here in a moment. Ah, there he is. What took you so long? To hear Desiree tell her you were so bloody worked up about this letter you nearly broke your link pearl. My apologies. No sooner did I arrive in the hinterlands that I realized the burner on my workbench was still lit. But that's neither here nor there. Oh, to think this moment will come. May I see the envelope, Ravenna? After all, 'tis not every day one receives a personal missive from the illustrious Master Matoya. Well, yes, of course. How could I not seen it? Why, it's also clear now. I had the highest expectations, but her analysis of my work was even more comprehensive and enlightening than I could have even imagined. What's more, she praised my methods of development as innovative. Can you believe it? The incomparable Mistress Matoya, master of all matters arcane, was impressed by my intellect and ingenuity. She went on to surmise that, considering the Anima in its capacity as a sentient weapon, its sense of individuality was lacking, but fear not, in her benevolence, she saw fit to offer counsel as to how we might address this very issue. The fledgling scholar I once was would have been elated simply to receive counsel I could scarcely understand. I have learned much in my time together with you and Gerald. Together, I'm confident we can put Master Matoya's teachings to good use. What say you, Desiree? Shall we set to work on instilling your Anima with a keener sense of self-awareness? I guess. Glad to hear it. Doubtless Gerald too will be pleased to hear of his most exciting turn of events. Let's return to Azizla and deliver the good news. Our poor dog's getting a little more polish, eh? Well, if you and Ardashir need anything at all, you can trust old Ravenna to take care of it. Provided the price is right, of course. This ain't a charity I'm running here. After all, good luck to you, Desiree. Okay, back to Azizla. Back and forth and back and forth. At last you are returned. I can scarce wait to see what wonders will come of Mistress Matoya's counsel. friends forever. This is the very last step. I've pored over Mistress Matoya's instructions, 20 times over in fact, and I do believe I've settled on our next course of action. Allow me to elaborate. As she explains it, but primates are the key to developing the anima's sense of self. I will grant that the idea may seem far-fetched, but bear with me. As you are well aware, they are beings of aether, much like the anima, summoned forth using crystals, and driven by the faith of their followers. But to what end do these followers summon them so? How do they fight once made manifest? This is the knowledge I would have you share with the anima. To do so, I ask that you take the Anima Weapon in hand and call to mind your encounters with the primals as vividly as you can muster, as if you were fighting these great battles anew within the confines of your mind. This plan may seem peculiar, but every success and failure a man experiences grants him strength. Having overcome untold dangers and countless hardships, your spirit is no doubt an inexhaustible reservoir of energies. You must tap into that strength and share it with the anima. When you have finished revisiting your harrowing experiences with the primals, come speak with me, and we shall set the next step of the plan into motion. This basically means we have to run almost all primal battles again we had up to this point. First, as you see, a bowl of embers, howling eye, and navel, heart, which is Ifrit, Garuda, and Titan. Then you have good King Mogulmog, Ramu, Leviathan, and Shiva. Then you have Bismarck and Ravana, and then you have a Warring Triad, which I have not unlocked in this character yet, so I have to do that as well. Okay, primal ones. Alright, I did the last steps and... Ardashir? Ah, you are returned. I can scarce imagine what terrible trials you contrived within the recesses of your mind. I trust you have revisited all of them? Excellent. With the anima now possessed with knowledge of the primates in all their form, and their strong desires to spur them into action, we need only reinforce what it has learned. For that, we must use the magics that gave birth to Mistress Matoya's amphibian familiars. Though they began as ordinary thugs, she transformed them into what we know as Perurgo, by means of an enchantment that serves to awaken knowledge previously imparted to them. She posits that, by using the same spell, that what the anima has learned from reliving at your side your confrontations with the primals can be ingrained into the very core of its being. The spell requires a few unorthodox ingredients, however. I can procure them all by myself, save for one. A form of enchanted ink used in days of yore, whose recipe has been lost to time, or so is generally believed. There are those, however, who insist that it's still being manufactured to the present day, in secret, deep within the heart of Vashalian motherland. Would that I were acquainted with a merchant who trades in exotic goods. Or perhaps there's another way? I have not the faintest idea of where to begin, but an adventurer as well traveled as yourself might fare better. Do you think it's possible you could procure this ink? I think so, yes. A single bottle will more than suffice. As for the remaining ingredients, why not? I will seek to their procurement. Good luck, Desiree. Speak with other players and share information to discover how to find the archaic enchanted ink. For example, buy them from Arena. Mana, Special Arms, Archaic Enchanted Ink. Back to Ardashir. Alright. I actually sold my replacement weapon I need for advancing the quest, so... Because I can't have a weapon equipped is because it gets exchanged. Alright. Were you able to procure the elusive variety of enchanted ink that we require? If so, I would prepare the weapon for enchantment straight away. Weapon, ink. Excellent work. Long have I been curious to see the splendors of Mistress Matoya's wisdom firsthand. With all the reagents now accounted for, my curiosity will at last be sated. Let us begin. Behold, the color has changed just as Mistress Matoya said it would. Splendid. Splendid. Next is the more delicate step in the process. Inscribing the arcane circle needed for the spell using this magic brew. And there. I believe that should do it. Oh, I was all but certain that trembling of my hands would make a mess of the inscription. As a final step, we need but place the Anima Weapon within the circle, and hope that the desired effect is achieved. The spell is ready, but the magic must be invoked by your hand, Desiree. In doing so, you will shape the Anima's sense of self and purpose in the world. Now, close your eyes, envision the path your Anima will take, and allow your aether to flow into the arcane circle. To fight faithfully at my side. Desiree? Your memories of battle were quite evocative. I feel as though I truly was there at your side, supporting your every blow against the primals. I have reflected deeply in all that I have seen, about the primals, and the dreams and desires that spurred them into action. I realize now that even a simple wish, no matter how pure, how innocent, can at times be used to bring about calamity. All I ever wished for was the strength to protect you. But am I not unlike the primals? An inferior being seeking ever greater strength to fulfill my desires? If that power should come to cause you harm, the mere thought of it chilled me to my core. But no longer. Now I have felt the warmth of your aether. Your earnest plea has banished my fears and filled my heart with unwavering courage. A faithful ally in combat. I feel our minds are already as one, for I would wish the same of you. The realm is rife with innumerable dangers, but we will face them together. Oh, the Anima Weapon lit up something fierce. I reckon it gained more than a new sense of self, if you get my meaning. Could it truly be? What are you waiting for, Desiree? Take the Anima Weapon in hand. My word, have you ever seen anything so exquisite? This, my friend, is the power of your wish made manifest, a form befitting the Anima's newfound resolve. And I dare say it deserves a name to match its resplendence. I hereby dub you Pair of Niapel's Lux. You have raised a fine ally in the Anima, Desiree. And thanks to Mistress Matoya's magic, we have sparked a new sense of self within the Anima through a joining of your minds. Indeed, this marks a significant milestone in my research. One that would not have been possible without your efforts. You have my sincerest thanks. With that said, this method for developing anima is far from efficient. I very much doubt there are many adventurers with such prodigious experiences to draw upon. No. To devise a means for the greater populace to nurture anima as robust as yours will require further research. Mark my words, from the lowly fishermen of La Noche to the temple knights of Ishgard, I will not rest until anyone and everyone in our fair realm can reap the rewards of anima. Hold your chocobos there, Ardashir. Just how many of these bloody things do you plan on making? I did say anyone and everyone, did I not? There's much work to be done, and I would be most appreciative if you could honor your end of our agreement. Of course, you are free to leave, if that is your want. Though I suspect Rowena would be disappointed. You got that. You no good stinking sack up. You're lucky me selling kettles ain't as gainful as it used to be. And when all of this research of yours is finally finished, I'm dragging your scrawny ass to Ravenna myself, and we're gonna settle me debts right then and there. Got it? Wonderful. I knew you would come to see things my way. I look forward for a long and fruitful partnership. Words fail to express my gratitude. Now go forth and protect the realm as only you can, fighting together as one. When next you return, I look forward to hearing your grand stories of adventure. The anima spirit has gained unyielding resolve. The weapon it inhabits now the pinnacle of martial perfection. At least for up to level 60. And we got It's Really Done. Because this was the last step of the Anima Weapon. It's finally done, and we got the mightiest weapon for Heavensward. And it's a bit tragic that come about midway through Stormblood we have to exchange it to getting outdated. Alright, but that shall be it for this this episode. Until next time, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.